down at the time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody to support me at all. We're just living in hotels and whatnot. And now that I found, a great wife who's able to support me now, my life's been changed and I've been making every right decision. Like I said, I have a business now. I have clientele. I also have,
What is your business?
I'm a barber. And I've been,
Are you doing Marbach haircuts for people?
sometimes I do. Yes, sometimes I do.
Sometimes as a barber, you have to tell people, hey, no, it's maybe not the best of luck. All right, Mr. Hobbs, if you can unmute.
President, Your Honor. Sorry about that.
No problem. So have you all decided, or do you all have an agreement on the motion to revoke, or you still wish to proceed with the bond?
We're working toward that, but we don't have any resolution. So I think at this time it might be best to move forward on the bond. Tony and I will continue to confer between now and next week.
All right.
I will
So
keep
this
Mr.
is-
Medina's testimony very brief in lieu of the fact that we're coming back to it.
All right. The court is going to go back on the record in 2018 CR 1860, State versus Nathan Medina. If we're going to have parties announced for the record for the state.
State of Texas.
Defense.
Colin Hobbs for Mr. Medina, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court had heard testimony with regards to setting a bond in this matter. And defense, did you have any other witnesses to call?
Call Nathan Medina at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection to defense counsel appearing by Zoom, state?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Medina, can you raise your right hand?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Nathan Deshawn Medina.
All right, defense.
Mr. Medina, you've heard the
I'm sorry.
testimony from your
Just one
fiance.
second, Mr. Hobbs, just one second.
Yes, Your
Counsel,
Honor.
counsel, if y'all can move to that end, just let the deputies know. All right, we're back on the record. You may proceed.
Mr. Medina, you heard the testimony from your fiance this morning. Regarding your brothers, can you give the court a little bit more information regarding how they came to be in y'all's care and custody?
Yes, sir. So I grew up very unfortunate. Never really had good role models in my life. My brothers always meant everything to me. My mom went to rehab, unfortunately, and still going down the gutter. And with that being said, I decided to take my brothers in so they can go to school because they weren't going to school. And I was like, that's not right. Like, I want them to go to school and do right and live a right life and not follow the path that I was in right now, currently, that I'm trying to get out of. And I figured that with that, taking them in, that would help them with their future. And I'm just doing the best I can, changing my life up. And I know it looked bad on paper, but that's not who the man I am anymore. And I'm ready to rewrite that all and fix it all up. And I got my brothers with me now, and I'm thankful for that. And I have a newborn baby this January 9th, and I'm thankful for that. And with that being said, I'm just grateful to have them in my life and them be with me instead of on the streets.
And you have a baby daughter that's going to be born soon. Are you hoping to maybe be out for that birth?
Correct. Yes, sir. I want to be out before the birth so I can witness that. And it'll be a blessing, a huge blessing to me and my family. We would highly appreciate it.
Now, obviously, you heard testimony earlier that your fiance and you're okay with paying for the GPS. Y'all can afford the $300 per month.
Yes, sir. I can't afford that. I currently work and I cut hair for a living, and I can't afford that. Yes, sir. That's
okay.
No.
And then from there, are you asking this court, should they grant you a bond with GPS to allow you to go to work so you can continue working to support you and your family?
Right. I would love for the court to grant me that so that I can continue to provide for my family, because I'm the only one that they have currently. I'm also looking after my other little sister, but she's staying with another relative as well. So I have a lot on my plate, and my family highly needs me right now, and whatever the court can grant me, I would highly appreciate that.
One of the things the court's very likely to do is have you do frequent check-ins. Are you okay checking in with
I'm
pretrial
capable,
services?
I'm capable of doing that as well. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any objections to if the court makes you pee in a cup on a weekly basis? Will you comply with that?
Yes, I can. That's perfectly fine.
Is it fair to say that anything the court asks you to do, you're going to do so?
I'm going to do it 1000%.
All right,
Yes,
so
I'm fine.
let me just tell you, whenever people say put something at 1,000%, it's normally not true. Whenever you see Maury Povich shows and they're asking, are you the father? When the mom says 100%, we're like, yeah, he's probably the father. But when the mom says, oh, I'm 1,000%, you know what always ends up happening? They're not the father. So never go to 1,000%.
Yes, ma'am. I will comply, though. I will comply.
Understood. Is there anything you wish for the court to know at this time?
I just ask that you guys grant me this and trust within me and my word that I will own up to what my wrongs were and show and prove to the court that I'm willing to be a man now and prove to you guys that I can do what's right.
And obviously, you're charged with having not succeeded in your probation. Have you made strides within the last several years to turn your life around?
Yes, I have. And before in the past, like I said, I wasn't smart. I wasn't making any wise decisions. I didn't have anybody saying, hey, like, like you need to do better or anything like that. And now that I'm getting older, I'm getting closer to God. I'm actually getting closer in my faith. I'm actually wanting to go do the sobriety thing with my mom and help her with that and just do better with my life because I have that opportunity. I have that chance, just like everybody else has that chance. And yes, I am making better decisions. I don't do really much really besides cut hair and go home. Truth be
Is Eris and her family, have they been kind of a blessing as far as helping you
told.
get right?
Oh yeah, they're a huge blessing and they're very motivating people. Like I said, their military background as well, and they're very, very strict. And they love me. They love me and they support me a lot. And they're the ones who actually wanted me to come over there and live with them because I was deciding to go live in a hotel. And they said, no, we're not going to allow that. You're going to stay with us and we're going to get your life figured out together. And they're very, very supportive with that.
And they know what you're charged with, and they're still going to support you through this time?
Yes, they do. Yes, sir. They do know what I'm charged with. And they are very still supportive and they're not ever going to not be supportive.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, so do you have any other witnesses?
That's all, Your Honor.
What is happening with this Valverde case? Is that
Our
still pending?
Our understanding, Judge, from his conversations with his attorney on that, I don't believe it's still open. The state can certainly speak to that if they've had a chance to look it up. My client says that he was a passenger in a vehicle.
Oh,
And
no,
that
no, no. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to get into any facts that are in the NTR. I just want to know if that case is still pending.
his belief is that it's not, but I don't have confirmation of that, Your Honor.
Does anybody know?
You don't see the Delaware case in Odyssey, Your Honor. Answer the court question. I don't know what's going on with the Delaware case.
All right, so before the court sets a bond, I need to know if there's a Valverde case. Does anybody want to pick up the phone and call the DA's office in Valverde to see if that case is open?
I can try, Your Honor. Logistically, it'd be difficult for me. I'm, as the court's aware, in a
All right, the state is going to check and see.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, just have a seat. We'll get back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
I can tell you that things move slowly out there.
Okay. Do you need a number, state? All right, we're back on the record in 2018 CR 1860, Nathan Medina. And state what information do you have?
After speaking with both Martha and Cindy from the DA's office, they searched his name, both spelling Nathan, Nathen, as well as Nathan, and his date of birth, and they could not find any case.
Okay. All right, and does he have any other cases?
Does, Your Honor.
And what are these other cases?
It's a Bear County case for failure to identify.
Okay. All right, is this going to end up being a contested MTR?
We might come to an agreement between now and the date. Tony and I will continue to confer, but it feels like at this point that probably it will be contested. Your Honor.
All right, what bond amount are you requesting, state?
State is requesting $30,000, Your Honor.
Defense, what type of bond are you requesting?
Judge, we were requesting 15,000 with any conditions that the court felt was appropriate.
All right, court will set the bond at $15,000. Partial GPS for employment only. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Any other conditions that are being requested?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Norma, if you can give him a reset form for October 31st, state you'll need to be ready for a contested hearing on that day.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Thank you, you
Your
too.
Honor, have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2018 CR 1860, State of Texas versus Nathan Medina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Colin Hobbs for Mr. Medina, Your Honor.
Okay. So on this, and I'm sorry, are you Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, so on this case I don't think he ever entered a plea. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Then did you review the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you review the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Nathan Medina who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 1860 for the offense of theft, $2,500 to $30,000 of a vehicle on May 21st, 2018 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Nathan Deschamps Medina did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer in person for the months of December 2019 and January 2020 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining violation allegations, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing this, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. State on deferred for 2 years. All prior conditions back in effect.
That is our understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Abrams, has Omar Ibrahim submitted restitution for $5,000? Has that occurred or no?
Hold on, Your Honor.
Yes.
This is
No, that's for the restitution that's in the plea.
The complainant.
The complainant? Yes.
Judge, there's not been any restitution that's been paid.
All right. Your client has done nothing on probation. We were here last time with this.
It was for a bond condition hearing at that point, Your Honor.
All right, so
Uh,
has he done anything on probation
Not
other
in
than
quite
not
some,
report?
not in quite some time. We have some evidence we'd like to present. You heard from Paris Carmona last week about
Yes.
his new, I'm happy to recap that. I'm happy to call her again. I don't know.
Oh, my mind's a steel trap. I remember her previous
Fair enough.
testimony.
I also have her mother and father here supporting him today. You heard about where his life was at both back then and now. He's doing much better. He has a plan in place. He's going to be working to get the restitution paid. That was the one thing that really persuaded the state to give him one more shot, was so that hopefully the complainant is made whole in this.
My understanding is that restitution was never submitted by the complainant. I know that part of your plea bargain agreement was for the $5,000, approximately $5,000. So,
I was under the impression it had been submitted because it was calculated on his worksheet, Your Honor.
okay. Probation?
One second, Judge. To confirm, you're asking if anything has been paid toward the restitution, correct?
Has anything been paid?
Nothing has been paid toward the restitution.
All right, and did the complainant submit anything for restitution?
That I do not know, Your Honor.
I'm checking now, Judge.
Well, probation is,
This was a part of the, there's nothing in the system that the complainant actually provided for restitution. It was part of the plea agreement that was granted upon him being granted probation. I can pull up the offense report.
and the court sees that this is not his first failure to report. There was a previous motion to revoke heard by the judge that placed him probation from October 11th, and it was a failure to report as well. And now we're back for another failure to report.
Might call my witness, Your Honor.
Sorry,
My client is my witness, Your Honor.
sure.
This time I'll call
Can you
Nathan.
raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Nathan Deshawn Medina.
Mr. Medina, obviously you've not reported a probation in some time.
Right. Yes,
And
ma'am.
you know that was a mistake.
It was.
Can you give the court kind of a rundown and explanation for why your probation went so far off the rails for you?
At the time, I wasn't in a good stability. I didn't have anybody, any sort of good mentorship or any sort of good anything in my life at the time. My mom, we were actually homeless at the time, and it was a huge toll on me at that time. And now I'm in a way better mentality position. And
During that period of absence from probation, what have you done to get your life in order, and who has helped you do so?
I've got my life together now. I now have a business. I have clientele. I've been able to have a grateful daughter that I'm grateful for, that who actually changed my life. I actually have a fiance now who's pointing me in the right direction. Her and her family are huge supporters, and they're helping me stay on the right track with life now and stay focused.
Tell us about the family system that you have at your house.
The family system that I now have in my house, they're both retired military, and they're very, very structured. And we all have great support with them, and they're all supporting me. I now have custody of my two brothers, where they also are helping me support as well and stay on the right path. Because like I said in the past, I didn't have any support system at all. We were just on the streets, just living day to day and just trying to make ends meet. But now that I have a better support system with them, life has been so much easier and a lot better for me.
Give me a brief rundown of what are some of the things your mom struggles with.
She was a drug addict, and she was in rehab back to back for many years, and she got the kids taken away, which put me in a very stressful mentality and caused me, just to just be really, really down at the time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody to support me at all. We're just living in hotels and whatnot. And now that I found, a great wife who's able to support me now, my life's been changed and I've been making every right decision. Like I said, I have a business now. I have clientele. I also have,
What is your business?
I'm a barber. And I've been,
Are you doing Marbach haircuts for people?
sometimes I do. Yes, sometimes I do.
Sometimes as a barber, you have to tell people, hey, no, it's maybe not the best of looks.
I try. I tell them you can switch it up sometimes, but they like to stick to it.
I'd like to know if there's anything you can do for me.
So,
All right, so let me just stop you right there.
yeah, sure.
Here's the thing. One, he hasn't reported. I'm inclined to revoke him and revoke him under 1244. Give him 88 days in the Bear County Jail and give him a judgment satisfied.
I'm satisfied you're convicted.
Otherwise, he's going to be on probation. And if he comes back before me, he's looking at 2 years in the state jail facility.
Understood. Can I have just a couple minutes to talk to him?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Medina. Yes.
Judge, in discussing it with my client based on the fact that he has his own business and is not going to face any, there will be consequences. Number one, there will be
Oh, no.
consequences.
Here's the thing. I don't need an explanation. I just need to know what the decision is.
It's 1244.
All right, we're gonna go back on the record in 2018 CR 1860. The court will, you've entered a plea of true to violation of condition number 5. My understanding from your attorney, you wish to proceed with the court sentencing you under 1244, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, counsel, can I get a new trial court certification?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, then this is what the court will do. The court is going to find violation of condition number 5 true, revoke, find you guilty, sentence you to 88 days in the Bear County Jail under 1244. There is still to be restitution to Omar Ibrahim. And it's the agreed restitution of $5,050. And the court will find that the judgment is satisfied. To review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney, did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. What I will tell you, and people always say, you shouldn't tell people what you're thinking. The only reason why you are not going to the state jail facility for 2 years is because I understand the issues that you've had in your life. And I've also understood that you have changed your life for the better.
I have his case number. If you
Yes.
did write that.
So let me just tell you, from here on out, everything that you do, you need to make sure you're on the straight and narrow, because one, you've seen what your mother has gone through.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a child now that you're going to be raising, or children, I should say.
Yeah.
And if you don't want somebody else to end up raising your children, then you cannot be in any trouble. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you need to make sure that you pay the complainant. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
And probation, if you can make sure that he has where he can send the money to pay the complainant. All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. I've never heard of Halloween as happy holidays.
I think it's a trend this
Are you
morning.
Is that?
anticipating Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, pretty much. Happy holidays.
All right. Thank you to
Thank
you
you.
too.
Be excused.
Yes,
Have a great day.
you too.
So that's gonna be a JSAT judge.
Yes.